everybody, it's Vegan Family Journey. So we are getting ready to do our Savory Saturday video. And this weekend what we're going to do is we're going to bring you Korean food. We're going to make tteokbokki. Well, sort of. We're actually going to make a vegan version of tteokbokki, but because we're going to add ramen noodles to it, it's actually called ra-bokki. Okay, so tteok is actually rice cakes, and they come in a flat shape, or they come in like a long cylinder shape. And if you're doing the non-vegan version, they typically make the broth from water-dried anchovies and kelp, and your sauce is made from that broth, gochujang, which is like a red pepper paste, some red pepper flakes, and some sugar. And once they put it all in there and they let the rice cakes cook for a little bit in this sauce, this broth, it kind of thickens up and gets real shiny. And they will either add fish balls or fish cakes and hard boiled eggs to it. We of course are not going to do any of that. We're simply going to have tteok and the ramen in there, and we're going to give this a try and see how it goes. Okay, I've made tteokbokki once before using someone else's recipe, and it was just so we're going to hope that this recipe is a little bit better. I am using what was fresh tteok that I bought yesterday at the Asian market. They were super soft and ready to go. It's been one day, and today's the next day, and they're a little bit hard, so I'm really hoping that they're still okay. Anyway, so let's give this a try. Alright, so over here I've got the water, getting ready to boil the water so I can put our ramen in it. I'm not going to use the seasoning, I'm just going to use the ramen itself. These are what we're using. Nongshim Soon Veggie Noodle Soup again. And then I'm using a nice deep skillet to cook the tteokbokki in. Or I guess I should call it ra-bokki. So since we're just going to use pre-made veggie broth, you need about 4 cups worth. And that's going to be this whole container. Woo! Okay. And then we're going to put it on about medium-high heat because I want it to come to a nice rolling simmer. Let's see. We are using this red pepper powder. I picked it up at the local Korean market. They have this, it's fine, and then they also have a coarser flake. I asked the lady that was there, she said this one was fine for the tteokbokki, and it was $3.99. And what we're going to need is we're going to need 1 tablespoon of the red pepper powder. So I'm going to put that in a bowl. We're also going to use 1 tablespoon of sugar. And then we're going to add gochujang. So this is a brown rice red pepper paste. It looks like that. Kind of hard to see, I'm sure. We're going to go ahead and get that. Okay, did it move it too much? Okay. We're going to put that. See, I know it's kind of hard to see. When I get it all out, I may need to get a different spoon. See, as you can tell, it got stuck in my little cup, my measuring cup. Ooh, cool. Okay. And so then all we're going to do is we're going to mix this paste together with the pepper and the sugar. Maybe. It's kind of sticking. It could be because I had my red pepper paste in the refrigerator. I don't really know. I'm going to do my best to get it mixed in real well. Okay. And this is what the tteok looks like, the rice cake, to make tteokbokki. Now this one was fresh yesterday. I've never bought it fresh, so I don't know how soon you need to use it, but it's definitely not as soft as it was yesterday. So I'm just going to pull out the soft ones. Maybe. We'll see how this goes. And right now it's not going so well. I think the ones on the bottom are softer. I mean, they weren't warm or anything, so I don't understand why they're sticking. Maybe because it's obviously a rice, gluten. So I'm just going to use the softer ones. Like, this one's a little hard here on the end because it was closer to the top, so I don't want to use that. I did forget to mention that you are going to need about 3 green onions as well. And you're going to cut them into about 2-inch long pieces. And you can save a little bit of the tops of the green onions for garnish. And I know this is taking like a super long time. Again, they were soft, like these bottom ones, they're nice and soft. And they're going to be chewy, I'm sure. And they were all like that yesterday. I just bought them late yesterday afternoon. But these here that were on the top, they're like hard. Look at that, it just tore. So I'm definitely not using those. So I'm just going to continue to get these off. And the tteok that we bought before, they were actually frozen. So I didn't have this kind of an issue. This is my first time, that one's so-so. This is my first time using the quote-unquote fresh ones. So I don't know, maybe I was supposed to use them right away last night. I don't know. That one's so-so. So if any of you have ever made tteokbokki before, or ra-bokki, I would love to hear your comments or see comments down below on what you did or what your experience was with it. So a lot of these are not really what I want to use. So let's see. I think there's a couple left here that are fairly soft. I think that's probably going to be it. Yeah, I think so. That's going to be it. Now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put in the sauce. Maybe. Oh, did y'all see that? That's what you call splashback. Or what my kids call splashback. I'm going to try to get all this off. Now I don't want any of the flavor to go to waste. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my little measuring cup that had the red paste in it. I'm going to get a little bit of the water or the broth and I'm going to put it in this bowl. And I'm going to stir it up and try to get it all off so I can get it into the pot. See how it's cleaning it up real nice? You want to get in all the flavor that you possibly can. There we go. Great. Okay, and then we just gently want to stir this and mix it in until the paste mixture is well dissolved into your broth. Okay, and then what we're going to do here is I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to get my green onions. Like I said, I did forget that, but I'm going to go ahead and get them and chop them real quick, and I will put them in here. So here's my green onion. Put that in. We're going to let this cook. It's on medium high. You don't let it cook for very long. So I don't know. This isn't, they're only supposed to cook for like maybe 10 minutes. And you just gently stir. Now I hope this comes out right. I don't know. It's not bubbling quite as furiously as I like. But the tteokbokki are supposed to be chewy. Not hard, but chewy. And this broth is actually supposed to thicken up and become really nice, like a sauce. So I'm going to let this be for just a second. As you can tell, our water here for the ramen is boiling. So I'm going to go ahead and put in the noodles. I will save the seasoning packets for some other time. One. And two. And I'm using two because, I don't know. Because there's 3 of us and I don't know. Just sounded good. Okay. So the ramen is in there. And I just want to cook the noodles to get them soft because then they're going to come right here into the tteok. And you're just gently going to stir your tteokbokki. You don't want to break them up. You just want to keep them gently moving so that hopefully the sauce thickens, it doesn't burn. And let's cross our fingers and hope for the best. Alright, so as you can see, the ramen noodles are already cooked, so I'm going to go ahead and strain those. The tteok has been cooking and I've been gently stirring for about 7 to 10 minutes. I personally think the recipe that I followed, it's a little too much broth. I would probably only use maybe 3 because I don't see it thickening up as much as that lady, as much as hers did. And I don't want to overcook the tteok. I'm not 100% sure. Like, it's not something you cook for like an hour. I might give it another 5 minutes or so. Essentially, you're just supposed to cook it until the tteok, which is just like giant rice because it's made from rice, until it absorbs a lot of the broth and until the starch from the tteok thickens the broth so it's almost more like a gravy. And then it is supposed to be nice and shiny like this. They do have it shiny, but for me, that's not quite as thick as how she had it. I'm not going to worry about it too much because I am going to strain the ramen to put it in here. So like I said, I might give it about another 5 minutes. And then I'll go ahead and strain the ramen and put it in there. And maybe that will also help thicken it up a little bit. Alright, so I think giving it just those few extra minutes really helped. You can see on by the line there how much it's reduced. It is a little thicker, not quite as thick, I don't think, as the other lady, again, but I'm going to go ahead and put the ramen in there because we're making ra-bokki. And then I'm just going to lightly mix this in. And that should also help to maybe absorb some of the liquid mixture. All right, so that looks to be it for our ra-bokki. So I'm going to go ahead and get this plated up and call the kids for a taste test to see how this recipe fared. All right, so I called the kids in for a taste of the ra-bokki following this recipe. So, all right, guys, go ahead and give it a taste.
I'm gonna do ra-bokki first.
Well, the whole thing is ra-bokki.
I mean,
the book.
yeah. Chewy like a dumpling.
It is very chewy. Okay, so do you think that the bokki came out better this time than the first time we tried to make it?
Yeah, I would say so.
Because I think I was expecting it to be chewy like this, and it wasn't. A little bit of ramen.
So good.
So what do you think?
I like it. It's a keeper.
A little bit spicy? Well, yeah, it's a lot of it spicy. So if you like spicy food, you can give this version of vegan ra-bokki. Actually, I just said like I'm speaking Spanish. Ra-bokki. A try. You can leave the ramen out and just have it as tteokbokki. So what do you think, guys? Is it a keeper? Do you like it?
I love it.
You do? Awesome. So you heard it here, Vegan Family Journey. This is a fairly decent version of Korean tteokbokki, or with ramen, ra-bokki. Thank you guys so much for watching. We hope you enjoyed this recipe. If you have already subscribed, thank you so much for following us on our journey. If you haven't yet subscribed and want to see more videos like this, please hit the subscribe button below, and don't forget to hit the bell so that you get notifications of when we upload another video. If you have any comments regarding this recipe, if you've ever tried tteokbokki, if you have some tips for us, please leave them down below. We'd love to hear from you. Thanks. Have a good one. Bye.